Very good morning to all of you. We all have assembled here today to have a training program on e-content development. So today I will be telling you some basic guidelines which we need to follow. Being a faculty, we need to follow while developing an e-content for our students. I will also go for basics that why it is required in present scenario, why there is a need for e-content development. So that particular part also I will be covering. So let me first introduce myself. Myself Dr. Sanjay Singh. I am a professor in Mechanical Engineering Department of Vinayaka Mission Krupananda Variyar Engineering College, which is a constituent college of Vinayaka Missions Research Foundation, Salem, Tamil Nadu. So as you all are aware that we are going to have the training program on e-content development today. So this is the initiative which is taken by Government of India, and Government of India, they thought that premier institutions of India, that is Indian Institute of Technologies, National Institute of Technology, then Indian Institute of Science, and many other such institutes, Indian Institute of Managements, and even some of the private universities, they have already developed very good e-contents. So it should be shared with everyone. And the initiative taken by Government of India to come out of the classroom, to reach everyone through some of the medium, and the medium is the e-content, which was developed by IIT professors and many other faculties, scientists who are having good amount of experience in that particular areas. So the contents developed by them, if it is reaching to the people who are not able to reach them physically, who are not able to talk them physically, so for the benefit of those people, by sitting in remote places, if they will be in a position to get benefited by the lectures given by IIT professors, certainly the learning level will go very high. And we can assume that the learning level which the students they are getting in premier institutes, the same type of level of learning we may achieve if this facility can be extended to the students who are studying in other institutions. So a very good initiative taken by Government of India. So our Minister of Education, Sri Ramesh Pokhriyal ji, so he was addressing to the media while discussion on National Mission on Education through ICT, through Information and Communication Technology. So let me tell that what is e-content. Actually, e-content in present scenario, it means something which is not in physical form, something which we cannot touch directly, something which is not presented in physical presence. So that is called e-content, which can be delivered remotely. Yes, of course, this e-content can be delivered remotely. The person can sit anywhere. The person can sit at any time. And then also his or her lecture, his or her talk will be accessible to everyone, not only to some of the persons only, to everyone. A big mass, a big number of people can be covered at a time. That is called e-content. Can be viewed by anyone. Yes, it can be viewed. There is no limitation for going through this particular e-content. Anybody can see at any time, anywhere, any place, any time. Of course, it needs some type of electronic devices which has to be used compulsorily. And we all know that most of us now, how deeply the technology has penetrated in education sector. So it's possible by utilizing those information and communication technology devices, we will be able to access the lectures, the talks, the experiences which experienced pupils, scientists, faculties, they are sharing with their students, and those same experience can be shared to the people who are sitting in other institutions, who are studying in other institutions very far away from that particular place. So it is technology enabled learning. It is called technology enabled learning. Yes, utilizing the technology for learning process, that is called technology enabled learning. Necessity. Why it is required? Because if we see our days, my childhood days, even I could not dream of any type of smartphone in my hand at that time. At that particular time, I did not dream of that. But yes, technology, advancement of technology has made it very clear. Even I was not aware that what is internet. These words were very, very far away when actually I studied in my school. But now, even the small children, they are well aware that what is a smartphone, what is computer, because in many homes now we find computer, desktop, laptops, iPads, smartphones, Android mobiles. Nowadays many varieties have come up which has made possible to transfer the talks, transfer the experiences, transfer the live lectures which are going on in the classroom, the live seminar, the live workshops, conference, everything has become live now, gentlemen. Similar to in the TV which we see some live shows. Yes, these availability of technology has made it possible. So use of technology in almost all areas, including education, all areas. So experience of renowned professionals and scientists can be shared with others. Other than classroom, yes, it's not necessary to sit in classroom to access any of the content. Anywhere, while sitting on the bus, while sitting on the train, while traveling, while eating, any time we can access, so accessible other than classroom. Widening of the area of learning, it has created or it has widened the area of learning. If a person wants to learn the area in which he is not studying in his college or in his school, but then also if he or she is having interest, he or she can learn, very well learn. So this widening of the area of learning has taken place. Promotes multidisciplinary learning. Yes, it is the necessity, need of the hour, gentlemen, that multidisciplinary learning as well as approach towards different aspects of life. Now, single dimension approach will not be solving the purpose. We need to have multi-dimensional approach. So this multi-dimensional approach is very, very necessary, compulsory. Yes, we can say that internet has brought revolution. So internet facility which is being provided, by which now any part of the world is accessible within fraction of seconds. Yes, internet has made it possible, everything. We can create the content, but it will be transferred, it will be uploaded in internet, and then it will be accessible to everyone. That is possible only because of the availability of a wide range of network or good bandwidth which is being provided by internet facility. So this internet has brought revolution in this area. Simultaneously, advancement in information technology, we do have very good cameras, capturing devices. We do have even in our mobile in which we can create very good videos. We are having digital pads, we are having desktops, many softwares. These developments in information technology has brought considerable revolution, which I was actually during my childhood days, I did not see all these things. Maybe sometimes in that time, if I would be having such type of facility, my learning level also would have gone high. But I will not cry of that. Now I am in a position to have access. Whenever we are getting something, we should grab it. The opportunity should be utilized properly. So handy devices in hand itself. Now we were thinking of big telephone sets which were not portable from one place to another. It cannot be taken. Now we can say that the mobile itself has taken such a good size that it is fitting in our pocket itself. Big screen also. So there is a need of blended mode of learning. Yes, now the requirement is classroom also. We cannot say that classroom teaching is absolutely waste. No, classroom teaching is having its own importance, which cannot be ruled out by any of the methodology. But simultaneously, if we want to have good flavor in our food, we need to add some cardamom. We need to add many of the spices. So those spices are being added with this information technology when we use it for learning. And it becomes much more effective. It is effective teaching and learning. The understanding level goes high. We are in a position to achieve outcomes. So it promotes learning at own pace. It means it is student-centered learning. Now the educational scenario in India also, it has moved far better position from teacher-centric to student-centric. What are the requirements we need to have? We need certain infrastructure requirements in order to develop the e-content. I am not talking about only accessing e-content. I am talking about development of e-content. How? Being a faculty, I am also a faculty. You all are faculty sitting here. So I want you all to say that yes, we can do it. And I feel that certainly from today onwards, after the session, you all will be developing the e-contents for your students. Not only for your students, the e-contents which you will be developing, we will be uploading in our website, in YouTube, and it will be accessible to everyone. Not only in India, it will be accessible for whole world. All of the students, all students, they can utilize it. We need computer, it may be desktop or laptop, digital writing pad with a digital pen. Yes, if we want to write something on the screen itself, on the slide itself, as I am doing here, I am marking. So we need certainly digital writing pad with digital pen also. Content, we need content preferably in the form of PPT, PowerPoint, it will be more better. Even we can use white screen. Microsoft OneNote screen also we can use it. Even we can use other documents also. And if we are having digital pen, we can write there. So internet for uploading the video, compulsorily it is required. Then for e-contents, especially if we want to develop, we must have PowerPoint slides. We must have some videos. If we want to play videos, we need to supplement our delivery with the help of videos, animations, documents, If we do have document, PDF or Word, also we can open, we can even present with the help of PDF also. So let me tell, as I told in the beginning itself, that Government of India has taken a very good initiative. They formed a consortium of educational communication under National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology. In abbreviated form, it is called as NME-ICT. So the proposal given to develop e-content on all areas. Yes, arts, science, engineering, medical professions, architecture. Now we can say that the area in which e-contents are not available is almost zero. Yes, of course. Present condition, we are in a position to access e-contents in all areas. Availability on open access. Yes, it should be accessible to everyone. No need to pay even a single penny. No need to pay even a single paise. So this availability is to be done for all. Everyone can access it. That's why it is open access. It will be delivered through dedicated learning management system. A system will be followed. In our India, we do have NPTEL, especially for all engineering courses, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. So this NPTEL, through NPTEL, and now we are having SWAYAM. Through that also we are rolling out many of the courses which are available, and the students are given free hand in universities. They can even study through NPTEL and SWAYAM. Universities have been directed that if the students are earning credit from SWAYAM and NPTEL, the same credits can be transferred to their mark sheets. It will be well considered for CGPA calculation also. So now this much initiatives have been taken by Government of India, so that all students, all teachers, we all teachers are also utilizing the lectures which are available on NPTEL. Even we also go through the courses which are available for our own faculty development. So a specialized job, of course, it needs some form of skills for making the video. So it is a specialized job, and certainly we need to have very good communication skills. We need to have patience. We need to have knowledge. So faculty or scientists involved in teaching or research are found highly suitable because they are already having a very good amount of experience in their particular areas, in their expertise. So they are found more suitable to develop e-content, and that's why all faculty are being asked to develop e-content now at present as per UGC guidelines. Who are the persons involved? So subject matter expert, the person who is having expertise in that particular area, in that particular subject, who is having sufficient experience in teaching. They should be allowed to prepare the course. They need to prepare the course within the time limit. They are expected to deliver also, not only prepare, they are expected to deliver by using the ICT tools. So team of other persons, of course, it's not a single-handed job to create a video. It needs a team of other persons also who will be helping in providing and maintaining all infrastructure facilities. So a team works behind one single video, gentlemen. Yes, a team works, complete team works. It may include teaching faculty also will be including, but it will be including many non-teaching faculties also, many technicians, many experts, technical experts. Reviewer, academic team who will be evaluating the particular video after its preparation, and then only it will be rolled out for everyone. So academic team, there used to be an academic team in each and every university under director academics, and that academic team will be fully responsible for having a review on post production of all the videos, and then only when they find the video very much satisfactory, they will be recommending it for further uploading it. So guidelines for the content writer. Being a faculty, we need to know that how we should prepare the PPT, which are the contents compulsorily we should put in our PPT. So that requirement is to be met. So that is personal details, yes, preferably in first slide, like name, designation, institution's name and address, mobile number, email ID, all information of the presenter, of the subject matter expert should be available preferably on first slide. There is a need to give a small introduction from the subject matter expert while during commencement of the video, while starting the video. So content should be perfectly original, and if something is taken from internet or from some another book, proper references has to be given. Copyright issues, in no way it should be violated. In no way it should be violated. Correct recognition and correct references have to be given for the person who has developed any type of image or video or any animation. We can use it, but we have to give reference. We have to write the reference. Duration of video should not be less than 30 minutes. Generally, what we say that if we are going to deliver a lecture on a particular subject, at least it should be of 30 minutes. It can be more than 1 hour, but generally what we find that one video, generally 45 to 50 minutes, if it is there, it is a very good video, and but it should not be less than 30 minutes. Yes. Now, these 4 quadrants guidelines are given by Consortium on Educational Communication. While developing the e-content, we need to adhere to these 4 quadrants compulsorily. Then only the video lecture which we are preparing, it will be more effective. So it is having 4 quadrants. It is being suggested to follow 4 quadrants. So the quadrant 1 is talking about e-text. E-text means it will have a detailed write-up on the topic. The topic on which I am going to talk, a detailed write-up should be available on some of the slides. I should give complete detail of the module or on the topic. It also should be enriched with multimedia supplements like images, videos, animations, etc. So we should move from basics of that particular topic, and then slowly we can move to the advanced level. It means it should give complete information. So quadrant 1 will be covering complete information of that particular topic. It should be supplemented with even examples also. For each content, we must be in a position to give examples. In quadrant 2, which is self-learning. So in this video tutorial to be provided, how a student can learn self. So that video tutorial to be given compulsorily. It should also include small animations, videos, documentary, simulations, virtual labs, which will be enhancing the learning level of the student. When we go for quadrant 3, in this learn more. So what it is, the subject matter expert has to give clear references. Means if we want to access some other materials related to the topic, then in which resources we should utilize it. Where we can go for finding out more materials, the web resources, the website addresses, particular faculty their own website if it is available. So those informations has to be given. Supplementary materials, what we are going to have in addition to the material which is being provided with subject matter expert, other materials which we can utilize it for learning on the same topic, books, articles, other reading materials, some journals, research journals. If we are providing these informations also to the student, certainly the student will have a complete idea, and in future they can learn, they can widen the area of learning in that particular topic. Then quadrant 4, that is self-assessment and evaluation. So this is the last quadrant the video should contain, and it should be provided 10 to 15 questions on self-assessment. The student must go for self-assessment as it is being given in SWAYAM courses now, in NITTTR courses which we are undergoing, we faculty we are undergoing. SWAYAM courses. So after each week lecture, there used to be one objective assignment. We need to compulsorily solve the assignment, and then we have to upload, and then only marks will be given. So such type of criteria, it should be made compulsory. So 10 to 15 questions on self-assessment must be given, which is called assignments. Yes, assignments have to be submitted to the faculty. Yes, in physical classroom also we are doing like that. We are doing. We teach a topic, then we give assignment, and the pupil, students, they used to submit the assignment. We used to evaluate. We say them, and then we go to them and we tell them if anywhere we do find any type of shortcomings, or in which way they can improve their writing, in which way they can improve their learning, in which way they can improve their presentation. So a learner needs to evaluate his or her learning, and that will be only through assignments. And at the last, examination also will be there. So examination is also coming under the evaluation only. So I have finished. These are the some of the guidelines which I am informing you all for developing e-content, and I feel that the contents which I have shared with you, it will be giving you good amount of guidance in preparing your e-content on your subject expertise. So I have taken references for images from google.co.in. I have downloaded from there, and I have taken the content from e-content development guidelines by Consortium for Educational Communication, which is a body of an inter-university Center of University Grants Commission, that is IUSC campus, New Delhi. So as I told that copyright issues should not be violated. Yes, even if one small image, if we are downloading and we are putting it, yes, we can do it in academic, we can do, but we need to provide correct references everywhere. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone.